Welcome everybody to Star Self, Astrology Unplugged. I'm Rick DiClemente. Good to have you with us. Tonight we're going to continue with our story about people getting their 12th harmonic charts done. We're finding a lot of really interesting, fascinating stuff. And it's better to keep doing this stuff than keep looking for topics. Also, I'm starting to find a lot more goodies with the other harmonics too. So this may become harmonic central. I don't know. And I don't care because they're really valid and other astrologers need to see them work and they need to test their own charts to see how it works. So we're going to take our time. Most of the regulars who I want to do, I've already done their 12th. So I won't be doing them. I'll be starting the people here on the screen that in the order they have come to me. We're going to start with Naomi's chart out of Australia and welcome you up north. So we're connected somewhere over the equator. What are you doing way down there?
And down here, it's cold.
I know, but you see, to us Americans, it's just so mind-blowing that someone would live that far away. And you probably feel the same way.
Yeah, isolated down here.
Well, I hope to visit someday. Naomi, I have looked at your chart a little bit. I did a reading for you
Yeah.
privately. I'm going to once over your birth chart a little bit because that gives me the details that I want to look for in the 12th harmonic. And I think when I read for you, I talked a little bit about your 12th.
A tiny bit, not much. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to get into it tonight because if I've gone into a person's 12th, two distinctions tonight. I'm not going to repeat somebody I've already done the 12th, and I'm not going to do anybody. I can't do it anymore without a birth time. It's just too hard. So after 44 years, I finally started saying no, Linda, to people without a birth time. It just puts predictions off 40, 50 years. And, it's not like 40, 50 minutes, 40, 50 years. So let's welcome Naomi to the show and let's get her chart. We are recording. Let's get her chart on the screen. And there she is, Camden, Australia. Okay, so we're going to notice right away, we've got an Aries personality with a very strong Neptune. This is not really a bucket pattern, but my hunch is it's operating much like one. This is not a true bucket because you get the big hole here, but there's the bucket handle. So I do think the Neptune is acting very much like a handle, which makes it very strong. We see the very nice 11th house, Jupiter, Moon, Saturn. This is a very strong sense of friendships, belonging to groups. Aries are usually very much loners. They do things by themselves. They're not unfriendly. It's just that their own agenda is so full, they go out and do it. But not Naomi. Naomi's got a very full schedule with her friends and with her groups, and she really works well in a group. So that's very nice. We see Mercury's rising in Pisces. So that's very good. You need these types of Piscean energies to be attracted to a group like this, which doesn't usually attract Aries. You got the Piscean Mercury, you got the Pisces rising, you got the Neptune in the 8th house being the handle of the bucket pattern. I'm seeing this more and more, and I guess this has to do with the ages that are growing up now. I'm starting to see more and more of you Pluto people opposite Chiron. So I guess that's coming about to the people born in the 60s. Pluto opposite Chiron in the 6th house and the 12th house, I have found to be, I'm still working on it, but I've found to be what happens in their past life is that they feel bugged somehow to use more of their powers. Why aren't you using enough of your powers? It's not so much somebody bugging them, but it's how they feel inside. I should be using more powers. I got all this knowledge. Why aren't I using my abilities? Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, totally. It's giving myself a hard time. over things. Yeah. Expecting more of myself.
Okay, well, we're going to get there. And one of the hopes I have for all of you through my show is to try to get everybody to stop being on their own back and be nicer to themselves, including me. So when you look at the birth chart, the reason you go to the 12th harmonic is you want to see, well, remember the 12th harmonic in one way of speaking happened first, although they really happened at the same time. I had a marvelous regressive meeting, hypnosis with Stephen Poplin about a year ago. And I learned through his excellent guidance, he's really, really good. I learned that all of your lifetimes are going on at the same time. I learned this. Maybe you'll learn differently, but I learned this. For me, it's true. It messes with our sense of time, but they're all going on at once, and they all agree with what Seth said in all of the wonderful Seth books who talked about that subject. So we don't see anything really remarkable. We see things that are quite common, 3 planets together. We see some Pisces here. We see a little bit of Aries. So we want to say to ourselves, why does she have this Aries? First sign of the zodiac, strong. She's also got the Pisces, which is the last sign of the zodiac. And I've happened to fall upon a lot of research in that area and have seen it to be very successful. People like Thomas Jefferson, Ram Dass, James Hillman, some of our greatest writers and thinkers were great combinations of the first sign and the last, Aries and Pisces. And Liza and I have done a lot of talking on this area, and we have found that these people are, I don't want to say special, I want to say they've got a chart that is rather uncluttered. They got the beginning with the Aries stuff is let's just go. You don't think about where you're going or the complications, you just go. The fever of just going, the purity of it, the innocence of it. But you got the Pisces at the end of the zodiac with the non-complications. Pisces, all the doors are open. All doors, what doors? There aren't any doors. All doors are open to everything. So you got the beautiful motor driving in Aries, and you got all the doors open in Pisces, and you don't have the middle signs, Scorpio and Libra, too much of it, balling things up. So it's a really nice combination, which is why we found that Einstein, Ram Dass, Thomas Jefferson, so many of these people with those Aries, Pisces combinations were able to go very far. So I have seen it to be true. So let's switch over to your 12th. I'm going to try to keep things simple. I'll be stopping the recording a lot tonight just to keep things manageable. Naomi's birth chart. You select Naomi. You go to harmonics. You pick 12. And there it is. Okay. So now we are looking at Naomi's 12th harmonic. Okay. That's correct. That's why I keep a monitor on you. Okay, now they're supposed to be different. The 12th harmonic is a derivative from the natal chart. I've taken everything in your birth chart times 12 and put it back on the circle. That's how fast that's done. And what I have found, the number 12 is used heavily because it's the sign number of Pisces. It's the number of spirituality. I have found out of all the harmonics, the 12th harmonic to be the most important from my point of view. So we're looking at this, Naomi, in terms of a history of your past lives. This is your history. I call it your report card. I call it your transcript, your spiritual transcript. So in essence, in your year of birth, as you are taking a new life, and you are sitting with your spirit guides deciding, do I want to take a new life? What for? Why would I take it? What qualities should it have? What tests should it have? Why take it unless I'm trying to improve something? So the 12th harmonic seems to be historical evidence of all your lifetimes before and how you felt about yourself, how you felt about God, and how you, more importantly, how you think God thought about you. Of course, you're always wrong. That's why he told us not to judge. He didn't tell us not to judge. This is where we get it all wrong. God and Christ didn't tell us not to judge because it's bad or it's a wrong thing. He told us not to judge because you're always wrong. So we get all flipped out when we do something wrong, then we beat the hell out of ourselves. Not to judge because you're always wrong. So in this case, this tells me a lot about how you think he thought about you. So you duck your head, you're a little shy, and you come back and take a new lifetime to correct the problems that you think you had at that time. Okay, we see somebody here who's very, very active. Venus and Uranus and Sag rising. This is somebody who's just spread out all over the place and just really go, 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 go. And the moon is right opposite in Gemini. So this is somebody who's been very, very scattered throughout your lifetime. I look at you, you look very tame, you look very settled, and I don't listen to my eyeballs. I listen to the chart. I only listen to the chart. Okay, now, this means probably something like throughout your lifetime, you got real excited about God. You wanted to go back to God. You wanted to go to your ashram, whatever you wanted to do, but you got real excited about it. There's so much information, and you could do this, and you could do this, and you could do this, and that leads you to being scattered. So what did you do in your past lives? You sent all of this wild information, which is exaggerated because it goes right across the ascendant. 28, 21, 19, 26, 28. So this is really powerful. Oh, this is, hey, we're this, or this, or this, or that. But what you did with this is you sent all that energy down to Saturn and Mercury in the mind, and you tried to quell it. So every time you got real hyper about your knowledge, you tried to quell it through these years by sending it through your mind, through a disciplined mind, and tried to meditate and tried to get control of yourself that way. That's what this chart is based on. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does. I can relate to that.
Okay,
Yeah.
and what I'm saying to you is, and you're pretty advanced, you want to be able to feel this coming from your past lives.
Yeah.
Okay, now I don't know why it is. There is no judgment here. There's no hurrying up to fix things. There's nothing got to do with judgment. But we see in your pattern, see, some people just have this and they just go back and forth the whole time. And it's wild. And they get worn out, but you send it all through here. So in your case, we want to know, does it go ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, hold it? Does it go ping pong, hold it? How does it work? How does this triangle possibly balance out? We don't know. We see a very strong Neptune and Eris in the 8th house, which means there's very strong interest in the occult, in the deeper things of life, the deeper philosophies. So we see that these are the main themes that you had in your past life. So we come back to your birth chart. And this is it. This is the birth chart. Okay, so remember what we saw. We saw a very scattered person who put a lot of pressure on herself to get all this stuff corralled through a disciplined mind. Here she's working in a Buddhist temple, right?
Yeah.
Okay, your Buddhist temple teacher means perfect here because you're trying to tackle the thing directly. One of the things I found, people, and you can shoot me for this or not shoot me, I don't care. But one of the things that I have found, when we find people and we track people in what they're doing, what appears to be things that they're doing for everybody else, they're really doing for themselves. And there's really no problem with that, because you have to fix yourself. And in a lot of senses, there is nobody else anyway. So we wonder what's going on in this chart. She's got a great love of life. She kept the fire alive in this lifetime with 3 fiery planets. She's got the Pisces rising again. She's got the strong Neptune. So we're trying to see, what did you do with all that energy that was trying to be tamed and focused? What did you do with all that? Well, I want to look at a couple of things. I want to look at what's happening right now to that chart, that 12th harmonic chart, because we can see, how do I say it to you? What seems that you have done makes a lot of sense. But has it been working for you? Because the question is, when we have troubles in life, we seem to want to blame mom and dad, but our problems are not from mom and dad. They're just playing roles. Our problems come from shackles around our ankles from the 12th harmonic. And that's why when I usually get a person on the operating table here, usually that 12th harmonic is going to be going through some kind of change, like sawing off those shackles, breaking those shackles off, and liberating the self. So let's find out what's going on in the 2 main charts. In the natal chart, we see right now that Pluto is sitting up, Eris is sitting here, Eris is sitting here. You've had a long time with Eris. You've had a lot, last 20 strong years with Eris. Very powerful stuff. Pluto is sitting right here right now. It's right on your Saturn. Okay, so what Pluto on your Saturn is doing, this is very intriguing. Here you are with your friends, having a joyous time, and you're always called upon to be an officer or a kind of a leader, which is natural for Aries anyway. And with that Saturn there, that makes you a natural manager. Well, Pluto is sitting right there now. Okay, now, when Pluto's on your Saturn, the part of you that controls, it's the part of you that wants to make sure, it's the part of you that keeps you together, it's the part of you that always wants to come up with a practical answer. Well, Pluto's there right now, and it doesn't want to hear anymore. Doesn't want to hear. Not because you're wrong, but because you're done with it. You're done with all this. Well, before you go out, let's put your rubbers on and let's put your coat on, let's put your hat on, and here's your money for the bus. Now go on, and you send them on the road. You send the self on the road very carefully, very carefully, very carefully, making sure. Well, you're done with this. Aries can't stand this stuff. And you've been doing it for a long time, but you're fed up with it. Aries wants to just let me go. That's what Aries want to do. Just let me go. And that's where you're at right now, Miss Naomi. It's time to take off. And I'm not going to have any criticism or any judgment of you with your Buddhist work, because I don't understand it well enough. I'm a novice. I'm ignorant of it. So I'm not going to get into any kind of judgments about it. Because there's this myth that Buddhist people all sit around like the Buddha statue and they don't move. It's a myth. They're very lively inside. They're very lively compounds that they live in. So what I'm saying to you, your chart is ready to cast off those shackles from the past life that are saying to you, oh, you can't fly around, do all this wild kind of crazy stuff you want to do because you're a Buddhist kind of person and you're supposed to be real calm. You're supposed to be real centered and sit still. But the chart saying, no, I'm done with holding myself back. Your comments.
That's exactly what the process I'm going through. Like working at a Buddhist temple for 16 years, and I'm walking around thinking, why is all the Buddhists serious when life doesn't have to be like that? We can embrace that liberating side of being spontaneous and happy. We don't have to be solemn. So I'm going through that transition.
Well, that's wonderful. Now you're perfectly timed. And I'm going to say this out loud. You might be more accurate than the Buddha was. We don't know.
Yeah. They're very solemn. And yeah, but what you said to me was, yeah, exactly how I've been feeling.
Well, I think you're right on track with this. And from studying Ram Dass for so many years, there's a real good chance here that you're also swinging like a pendulum. Maybe certain years you need to be more serious, other years you need to be more active, etc. But it's clearly a time now. How do I say this? When you lift the Saturn off of you, you're throwing away your chaperone. Well, we all get cocky. I'm going out with the girl tonight, but there's no chaperone. Oh my God, it's kind of loosey-goosey and fun, but it's also scary.
I think Ram Dass did that perfectly, like that combination. He was just...
Ram Dass was real good for that.
Yeah, the vibrance and still could walk, could walk the talk.
Well, I'm here to say to you very clearly that's what's going on in your birth chart. Now let's go back and look at your and by the way, that's taking place in your 11th house of friendships and groups and organizations. So you're going to go back to your groups. They're going to say, what the hell happened to Naomi? And you're going to say, well, I just took the lid off everybody. Hello, it's a new Naomi. And they're going to love it because you're going to help them take their lid off. Now let's get to the next chart. I want to move on. Let's go to the let's go to her 12th harmonic chart. Okay, so we see in this chart clearly the shackles. I got a horse in my throat, frog in my throat today. The shackles in your chart are Saturn at 19. Okay, that's the shackles. Remember, it's also been the planet that gave you the ability to corral your thoughts, to discipline them, to channel them, to focus them. But now what are we looking at? Neptune is sitting right here. This is so beautiful. I don't even need to say another word to you. Neptune is on the Saturn in that chart. And Neptune on the Saturn in that chart is saying, thank you, Saturn, for helping her during times when she was out of control. Thank you for giving her the ability to capture all the wild sheep in her mind, bring them back to the corral, and get everybody settled down. But now that Neptune's here, I'm taking over now. Neptune is the voice of the Holy Spirit. You no longer need to control these sheep. You no longer need to keep them under video. You no longer need to keep a belt around your waist. It's time to let go and allow me to take you on a ride. And in effect, Neptune is the Holy Spirit saying, give me your life and I will guide you for you. That's what I think.
Wonderful.
It's fantastic. Now, I would like to hear from you in a couple months between me and you somehow. I'm trying to learn to go slower. It's so hard. I want to hear from you in a couple of months to see how this is going. Okay,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
feel real good about this. All right, thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Question, Naomi?
No, I think you said it all. And Neptune's sitting on my ascendant, and then it's going to cross my Mercury in the next year as well. So
You're really in for this. What I tell so many people, don't listen to anybody because God's talking to you straight right now. And
yeah,
your conduit's just going to get bigger and bigger. And that's sounds like a wild man selling pillows, but it's really true. So let us know in the next couple of months how it's going.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Miss Kate, where are you, Kate? Oh, I see a Kate. Is this Kate up there
Hi,
with the
Twiddle.
Twitel Yahoo
Twiddle. Yeah.
Twitter? Okay, hold on, please.
Okay.
I'm going to get to your chart. I'm going to stop the recording. So here's Kate's chart. And we see that she is an Aquarian. She's one of those really intense 1947, 1948 Aquarians. And I know that well because I've watched people from 47 and 48. They have very intense Aquarian planets opposite Saturn and Pluto in Leo. What does this mean to you people? Do not try to back Miss Kate into a corner. Don't do it. She will come out punching with 3 fists, not just 2. She will beat the hell out of you. Don't back her in the corner and think if you don't want this woman mad getting and her telling you off, let me tell you that. That's all I'm going to say. She's very powerful with the Scorpio rising, but she's very, very nice. So she doesn't usually have to explode. But if she has to, and you insult her dignity, whoo, watch out. Okay. You can see the little bit of Leo in her with the roundness to her hairdo. It's always about a round shape coming from the Leo planets at the top. I once dated a woman who had sun and moon here. She had Saturn and Pluto there. She was very much the same. And she was also Aquarian. She was very something. You're good, real good with the environment, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, look at your T-square. Your moon Jupiter's a lot of fun, having a lot of blast here, tremendous blast in Sag, opposite Uranus and Gemini. This means that you just got all kind of information in your mind, and you're here and you're there and interested in all kinds of things. Jack quests of all languages, jack of all trades. So the Pluto is really intense because it goes right along the midheaven, 15, 11, 13, 11, 19. So these are 2 planets. These are hard to interpret. This is somebody who has had a series of lifetimes where she's been a big deal in the public eye. Whether she liked it or not, she's been very public, she's been very popular, she may have been very controversial, and it's been tough on her because she wants to stay home and hide where it's safe, and she's been required to go out in public. She's constantly in this fight. Stay home and hide where it's safe. Oh no, you got to go out in the public and talk to the public. So this is a constant battle, even today, into this birth chart. Stay home where it's safe with mama, all the traditions on the farm. Oh no, get out there, swing the wand, swing the microphone around, tell people what's what, take your stance. So we see this real apparent dichotomy going on here. So we don't know what that's about. This is very happy. And what this is nice because this happy kind of wild and crazy opposition, like the last chart, this one goes to Venus and Pisces. So Venus and Pisces means you're really loving to people. You're really giving to people, whether they want it or not. You're just good at it. You're just very generous in those Leo qualities and those Aquarian qualities. So everything works well in your chart, except for when you get disrespected. You don't disrespect this lady. She's putting out all the time for everybody. Don't disrespect her. Also, don't disrespect the dignity of people around her. She'll come after you. Okay. So therefore, she's very Arisian, because Aries can't stand people who are put down, people who are not counted in, etc. How are we sounding so far?
Right on.
Okay, good. So we go into the past life, and we want to see what caused all this. See what I'm saying to you, you new astrologers, it takes a lot of time until you get to the place where I'm at, where you say, I'm not looking at her, I'm listening to the chart. It takes a lot of years, because the face keeps telling you one thing, the nodding tells you one thing, the emotion tells you one thing. And after a while, you learn and you learn and you learn. Listen to the chart. It's not that they're lying to you. Some are, but sometimes we're unconsciously defending ourselves, but the chart doesn't lie. So if you're new, just keep studying, keep listening to the chart, and then take into account what the chart just said. Then say to yourself, well, no, I don't see that. How can that be? And give the chart the benefit of the doubt. That's how it works. So to your 12th harmonic, if anybody tonight sees me talking, sees the recording light out, please let me know, because I'm doing off and on. We want to make sure the recording stays on when we're doing the real stuff. Okay, now with her 12th harmonic, here we go. This is the spiritual transcript. 4 planets in Sag in the 7th house of friendship and counseling. Okay, look at the great big red triangles. Mars, Mercury, Pluto, Neptune, Eris, and all these guys. So you've got a great big fire triangle here, an earth triangle here. This is somebody who's very, very confident in what she's doing. She doesn't need to ask for seconds. She's just confident in what she's doing. As a matter of fact, she's so confident in what she's doing that she probably messes up now and then. And she would benefit by being less confident and stopping and cooling her heels and asking for a second now and then. She's just so good at it, she doesn't. Plus being an Aquarian. Neptune's at the bottom of the chart. That really helps the chart. Neptune means that she's been very spiritual for many, many, many lifetimes. She has a very serious, since Saturn is near that line of counseling, she's got a serious bent towards counseling. Plus, she's got 4 planets in the house of counseling. So we know counseling is something she's really, really good at. What do you do?
Right now, I'm retired. I used to deliver mail.
Okay, have you ever been in a counseling position?
No,
Okay, all right. With your friends and your groups, do you find people oftentimes come to you for counseling?
right now I'm very, very secluded. I made myself in the 4th house. When I was working, when I saw a lot of people, yeah, people
Okay.
would ask.
People would take your counsel. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what do we see in your past life? We see this really flippant, fun-loving woman of the party with all kind of people, just having a good time. We see you again with the Gemini Sag, 3rd person in a row, gathering all this information. The spiritual interest is very strong. The sun is at 3. The sun is square to Uranus. So you've got these tendencies with Aquarius and with Sag to just be into all kinds of things. You're just into all kinds of different things. We saw that very strongly in the birth chart. So what did you do when you took? What did you do when you took the birth chart? You somehow said, in this lifetime, instead of me being so active with all these people, I'm going to take a position. And in this lifetime, it's been very important for me to take a position, to have a domain to rule. So when you were delivering mail, you just weren't delivering mail, you were ruling a whole domain. Explain that to me.
There was a period of time where I wasn't actually delivering mail so much as we were having a lot of issues between personnel and management. So my job was to represent the personnel and communicate with management.
There we go. There we go. My mother, 42 years in the shop, in the union, shop steward for her union. You've got the same energies. Those are the Leo tough energies. And people knew back then, if they had to toil with you, they had to come prepared. They had to have their facts right, because the Aquarian does all the research. You're not just going to buffalo this woman. So that was very, very good for you. But let's talk about that at another level. Okay? What does that mean spiritually?
Mhm.
What does that mean spiritually? We see that your longest time, you're spiritually,
I don't know.
we see that for the longest time, spiritually, you're rather jumping around and just checking out all these different things, real interested in all these different matters. But then we see in this lifetime, for you to go further with your spiritual matters, you had to take more of a stance. What does that mean to you?
I don't know.
Okay, if
For
you
me,
don't know that,
spiritually,
that's a very fine answer. What did you say?
for me, spiritually, astrology has been my religion since I was 12. So
Okay, with you and your God, not astrology, with you and your God that you have left, or that you're going back to, or that you talk to, whatever you want to call it. What does it mean to you that you've gotten to the point? This is a pressure.
my connection went out.
This is a pressure point right now. You're having this reading tonight for a specific reason. It's happening on purpose. So far, you are the reason that this show has started. Okay?
Wow.
What this is saying is, in your spiritual life, I'm sensing a spiritual crisis. And the reason that the crisis is there, and that can be a real small C, that can be a big fat C, I don't know. Is your life working spiritually?
Probably no.
Okay, probably no. What makes up the word probably?
I'm not doing anything.
Okay, you don't have to always do anything. Some spiritual directions are about always doing nothing. Okay, what I'm saying to you is spiritually, making an effort to go towards God, or making an effort, not effort, just floating away from, which one do you think is happening?
Towards.
Okay, you're going toward even though you're not doing anything.
Right.
How's that happening?
Probably opening up a little bit. I probably am in middle land.
What I'm wondering is, do you think you have the answer to, or do you think God has them?
Can you say that again? My connection went out.
See, the connection going out is really significant. It's going off and on, it's going off and on. This is
Yeah.
very significant and it's very common. Do you think you have the answers, or do you think God has the answers for you?
I haven't considered that. I think I probably have the answer.
Okay, what answers do you have?
I guess I have none.
See? See, the ego is conning you.
Yeah.
The ego is conning you. That's what's going on. This is a very brave evening for you. This is a very important evening for you, but you have followed the ego far enough and it has helped you. It helps you in a lot of ways, but you're now at the point where it's going to hurt you. It ain't going to help you anymore. It is time to trash it. It's that simple. And you're sitting there giving me double talk. You're doing double talk on all my questions. Yes, it's here, I'm going towards, but I'm going away. Yes, it's me, but it's not. Okay, that's all the ego talking. And the real you is a very pure, powerful self, a very pure Neptunian, powerful self. It makes you really mad to see people who don't have a spiritual path. It makes you see mad when you're in churches and there's no real true spiritual avenue. That's what's going on now. It's time for you to tune in to whatever you call the Holy Spirit and to say, look, I no longer know how to direct myself. I no longer know how to direct myself. I give myself to you completely and I await your answers. And I thank you for all the guidance you have given me. But the ego has been very important. So don't badmouth it. Don't be ashamed of it or battle it. It's been strong enough to get you to this point. It's been necessary, but now its time is over. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
There you go. Let me move
Yes.
on.
Thank
We're back again. Okay, Miss Beth. I forget, where'd you say you were?
I'm in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, that's no fair. She's way down in the sunny stuff. And we're up here in Pittsburgh and it's starting to get cold. Okay, Beth, nice to see you, dear. I'm glad you made it. How'd you find us?
Josie, my friend Josie.
Good. You find Josie, you find us. Okay. Let's go look at your birth chart. I've never seen you or dealt with you before. Here's your birth chart. Let's get you on the screen. All right. All right. Beth W., November 29th, Dunkirk, New York. Very powerful at the bottom. Sun, Neptune, and Sag. Very religious, spiritual person. I don't know which one, but there's some kind of combination there. The bottom of the chart is your basis. The basis of her chart is her religion or her spirit. This comes from many past lives. The sun, the moon next to Venus, although it's in Capricorn, which is not the best, moon next to Venus is very, very nice. This is somebody with Jupiter nearby. She's just very pleasant. She knows how to enjoy life. People like to be around her because she doesn't make a big deal of stuff. Things are nice and easy. They like being around her. Okay, we got this hellaciously strong 8th house with Mars and Eris and Chiron, which means she is a womanizer. I don't mean by dating, I mean a woman fighter, fighter for female causes, a feminist. True?
I've never thought of myself that way.
Okay, fascinating. I'm glad you told me that. This chart's that way. We're going to find out why. I think it's because of this. This chart is hell on wheels. This chart is up on the podium and giving speeches for women's rights and stuff. This is very strong, and it's being quelled by this. Ooh, behave yourself. Act like a lady should. So we see the area now. We see all these three opposite Uranus, and everything is going through Venus and Moon in Capricorn. So your chart has been saying for years and years and years, behave, 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 behave. What do you think? Okay, let's
To
stop.
think about, yeah.
What's that?
It's something to think about.
Mother is what sign?
What sign is she?
What sign is your mother?
Well, she was born October 19th.
Okay, Libra. Was your mother the kind, is she alive?
Yes.
Is she the kind of woman who's really into you and giving you TLC, or is she the kind that's always worried about how the family looks?
No, she's definitely like TLC and
Oh, that's very good. That's really good with a Libra woman because it doesn't always happen. That's very nice. They can be very, very charming. Your father's what sign?
he is, he was born July 3rd.
Okay. When you were little, between the ages of 5 and 15, and you were with your dad, how did you feel?
My parents were divorced and I would see him maybe twice a year. So I wasn't
Okay.
really happy
didn't-
about seeing my
You had a
dad.
big impact with dad. Okay.
No.
So it was you and mom sounds very pleasant.
And stepdad, yeah. He
Okay.
raised me.
And your stepdad is what sign?
Sagittarius.
Okay. So what strikes me automatically, big deal, big time, red flags going off. Your chart is fiery, your chart is cause oriented, and you're really busy behaving. I am not going to judge you. I'm telling you what your chart's doing. But inside, there's these voices of these cheerleaders that want out, these cheerleaders that want to come out, and they get real pissed off about women being beat up in relationships. And they see people on the stage and they want to get up there and wave the banners with them, but not the lady like you are. You're the Venus Moon lady with a Libra mother. You're very professional and civil and calm and tactful. True?
Yes.
What do you do for a living?
Well, right now I'm not working, but I've pretty much done everything, I would say.
In general, what kind of things?
So marketing, customer
Okay.
service.
Marketing is number
sales.
one.
Yeah.
Marketing is number one in your chart with all that Sagittarius. Okay. Now, what I'm telling you is your chart is about to explode. I have seen no symbols of it. I've not seen anything. I didn't do your chart till the show started, but I'll just tell you from feeling your presence here, seeing what your chart is suppressing and feeling what happens with suppressed energy after so long, it's got to give. And since we don't want you to blow up, what we want you to do is launch. You're either going to blow up or you're going to launch. And you've been coming closer and closer to blowing up for a long time by staying inside the box. And your life doesn't want to stay in the box anymore. True or false?
True.
Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you something very clearly with a lot of experience. There's absolutely no reason to be afraid of this reading. None. And you've look around here to people I've read for, they'll tell you the same thing. Your chart, we now know that when we look at your past life was not allowed to breathe. We don't know why. We're going to go into it because the past life is all about you and God and mainly you. Understand? Okay. Now, when we go to the past life chart, that's this one here. Let's get it on your screen. Okay, what do we see? Gemini, Cancer, with the sun between Pluto and Neptune, two massively powerful planets. What's at the bottom? Mercury in Libra, kind of pleasant. What's in the red triangle? Saturn in Taurus, Venus, Eris. Saturn in Taurus is very fixed. You will obey. You are very fixed. You are very disciplined. You follow a rigid course. You follow a straight arrow. Well, how did that go on? How in hell were you following a straight arrow when you had Mars next to Uranus? These are wild planets, wild, crazy planets. These are crazy energies here. Crazy energies, very behaved energies. So we see in your chart just this continual theme of both things. Going way, way back, you've got this fire in you. You're really smart. You get real pissed off when you see somebody being abused. You get pissed off when there's a wagon going by that you could be hopping up on top of the wagon and waving your sign. But you don't feel right unless you come back and you're behaved. So they're really a strong dichotomy here. Now, does this surprise you?
No.
Okay, it's very clear to me. Now, what we want to see now is which chart's getting hit. As I told you, you're being launched. You're going to launch. So let's go to the natal chart first. Is everybody else following along? As long as you don't need to get it exactly right, but you're getting the theme. That's what matters. That's what matters. That's why more people don't do the 12th harmonic. They think they have to get everything right. You don't. Just get the theme. I am voting for her. I am here for her soul. I am here for her essence. I don't care what seems right or wrong. I don't care what her mother likes. I don't care what she likes. I'm here to vote for getting the real her out. Because then you have happiness everywhere. Okay? That's how I believe it. So we go to your birth chart. And this is the 12th. So we go over here to Beth W's chart. Okay. Now let's see what's happening with the transiting planets. When you have two planets hugging the nadir, this is the pole that's stuck in the ground. This is the center of your life. This is your anchor. When that anchor is strong, even though it's in Sag, when that anchor is strong, people don't want to leave the anchor. They don't want to go outside. They don't want to try things. They don't want to risk things. They want to stay near that strong center. Even though you've got these two adventurous Sag planets, you've got three crazy, powerful, adventurous Aries planets, opposite explosive Pluto. But these two planets over here, what did you do in the arts? What do you do in the arts or entertainment?
In arts or entertainment?
Violin?
No. I played the piano when I was younger. I mean, I'm generally creative, but I don't have one thing I'm really.
Okay, you're generally creative, but you haven't focused it down to one. Okay, let's talk about for a moment, you're at a turning point. What would you like to do? What would you like to do as Beth?
I don't know, and I think that's part of the issue. I think I want to help people. I want to make a difference in people's lives. That's a lot more important to me than, say, making
Usually when people say that, that's Pluto, because Pluto is the one that gets in us and makes us want to become more meaningful. With the Sag influence and the Scorpio influence, that wants you to help people, to be their cheerleader, etc., etc. Now, are you able to really start to think forward about what I want to do without involving anybody else in your decision?
I think so. I mean, I'd naturally bounce things off people, I think. But
Are you a married lady?
Yes.
And what sign is he?
Gosh, he's January 29th.
So he's a very friendly, hardworking, strong, organized Aquarian, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they can be marvelous. They can be marvelous companions. Did you ever, or have you ever been able to talk him into going to see a doctor?
No, I mean, it's difficult. It's very difficult.
You're not going to.
That
Unless
is,
his arm is hanging up, you're not going to get him to go see a doctor.
he won't even take aspirin.
I know. Well,
He doesn't
Aquarian men are the most stubborn in the zodiac. Okay, now I want to get down to something here. There's a lot of you being held back, and it's held back by the past life, and it's got to give. It's got to give. Now it's got to give. Do you understand that?
Mhm.
Do you feel that has that been growing for the last several years?
Yes.
Okay, good. What does your mom tell you?
My mom just always wants me to be happy.
Okay,
She wants me to play things safe,
okay.
She
Now,
doesn't want me to be too stressed out or
do you think that your happiness is at the end of safety?
no, I think my happiness is going to be in, I mean, I need to find, I still am trying to find myself, I think.
We're
and
going
I
to
should-
find it, and the Neptune makes it hard. Let me ask you another question. Let's let Helen Keller ask you this question. Do you think there's such a thing as safety?
No, not totally.
She said there's not, and she was blind and deaf. She said there's no such thing. Okay, so which means you rely on the self, and the self keeps you flying, and the self keeps you navigated, and you're going to be all right. There's too much playing safe in all your charts. Not for my liking, but for the rest of the chart's liking. Okay. Plus, you don't want to throw your safety out because it's good for you. What you want to do is blend the two. What you want to do is blend the two together. Now, in your 12th harmonic, which is where I suspect the issue is. All right. All right. Where are the planets really doing things right now? Uranus is at 19 of Taurus. So Uranus is here doing nothing. That's good. Pluto's at 26 of Capricorn. It is right here. It's gone over your moon. Okay, so it's really been trying. The last couple of years have been very difficult for you as Pluto has gone over your moon. It's been going over your moon, and Eris has been here making a right angle to it. Eris, right angle, Pluto on the moon. So what is happening now is your whole sense of moon is changing dramatically in your chart. Your moon is your sense of being a woman, how you get along with your mom, with your family, your emotions, your traditions, all those things have been up for grabs. And the worst thing that you can possibly do at this time is try to BS yourself into coloring inside the box. Absolute worst. You can't do it. You can't do it. You know why? Because you know what the hell you're doing. This chart wants to take a whole new public appearance. It wants to put on a whole new hat, a whole new face, all new clothes, all new music. Let's go meet the people. Your chart is ready for a new public. It's ready for a new public you. And all that Capricorn, and I'm a double, so I know what I'm saying. All that Capricorn in you can help you. It'll keep you so you'll have something to say when the microphones are interviewing you. You'll keep your poise, fine. But the Capricorn will lie to you. It will lie to you. It will kill you. If you play it safe, you'll be all right. If you play it safe, you'll be all right. You will die. you will become a statue. Okay, I got that piece out of my mind. Now, one of the difficulties in your chart, I've seen this many times, in terms of going forward. In your birth chart, you see a Neptune at the bottom? Okay. When I ask people, what do you want to do? They say, I don't know. I say, yeah, you do. They say, no, I don't. Yeah, you do. No, I don't. Most people know what they want to do, but they won't allow themselves to go into that dream part of their head. In your case, you don't know what you want to do because you're so big. This is what I think of your chart. You're a really big person. You're really broad. I could see you running like an organization that is using those finesse, classy Capricorn, Libra planets of yours to gather money in development, to gain money for your organizations. And your organization is out there giving money to all these different nonprofits. That's what I see you doing. Clearly, in charge of a big time dispelling of money. John, give me the word. I know you do some of this stuff. Give me the right words. I don't know what to say to her. John does work with a lot of nonprofits.
There is a word. It has to do with giving money. It's I've lost the word.
Yeah.
Philanthropy.
Yeah, philanthropic, yes. Thank you, John. Yeah, I see you as very philanthropic because what we want to do is take these two problem areas that have been a problem for a long time and mesh them into power. You've got this wild, free loving, free thinking part of you. It's trying to stay alive with all this other governing and stay classy and all this. And there's no reason you can't put the two together. Now, another problem I found with Neptune people is this, and I'm going to leave you with this. When a person has a lot of Neptune, as you do, one of the reasons they can't find their direction is you're not made to have a specific direction. It's kind of like what I have found. God trusts you. God knows that whatever position, I'm going to speak for him for a moment. Whatever position he puts you in, he knows you're going to win. He knows you're going to do the right thing. You're going to be with the uptight people doing the right thing. You're going to be with the loosey-goosey people doing the right thing. You've got that ability to balance all this. You have that special talent. But what we're not seeing in all this discussion is what's happening to Beth. Beth wants out. True or false?
True.
What keeps Beth from coming out?
I think confidence.
Okay, well, that'll grow. That'll grow in time. But you think you can become more confident in what area?
Just being sure of myself to do. I think I second guess myself quite a bit.
Yeah, that's the Capricorn. And you got a wonderful Aquarian husband. I mean, they're the #1 support systems.
He's
They're
great.
right-
He is very.
Well, they're really behind you as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Aquarians do. So I really think we got your chart nailed.
Yeah.
It's really that simple. I really think it's time to start busting out. I think that what I would do if I were you is one of the things I've studied is you're probably not aware of how many times you stop yourself. I had a guy once and I was working real hard and he was scared to death to go out. And he would go out and get dressed up and he'd go down to the pub and he'd get to the door and he'd open the door and something would tell him to shut the door and he would go back home. And this went on and on and on. So I taught him to start keeping a journal. No value judgment. Start keeping a journal. When you get to that bar, that restaurant, you start to open a door. What's the message you give yourself? People are going to see you naked. People are going to see how cheap you are. People are going to see how socially awkward you are. People are going to see how stupid you are. What is it? And start writing those things down. Because what I've learned with this certain avenue here is we're not aware how many times we're doing it. We're not doing it. We're not aware of how many stupid fear messages we're giving ourselves. So that's my message for you, Beth.
Thank you.
I wish you the best of luck. Please come and see us again.
I will. Thanks.
Welcome, Josie. We're going to get into your chart now. Okay. Now, Josie is Jamestown, New York, a Cancer with the sun next to Saturn. Let me tell you guys something. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. All right. I am ranting against all the books that you've been reading and all the books that I read. I have seen so many, tons of people recently, oh, dead, alive, whatever, super successful that have all kind of messed up aspects with Saturn. So quit worrying about it. You got Sun, Saturn, Moon, Saturn, Venus, Saturn, Saturn up your nose, Saturn in your ear. I don't care. I've seen Saturn next to the Sun, Saturn on Mercury. I just see tremendously successful people with it. And I'm talking about close orbs and everything. So we're looking at a Saturn Sun right now. But I'm telling you for proof. Don't sweat it. I can't say that with the other planets. But that is truth. Okay, Saturn Sun, a T-square 2 Saturn Sun. Does she look like, oh, be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful? No, she doesn't. Okay, why is that? Let's go to the base of the T-square. Uranus is opposite Jupiter. Oh, that's one real good reason there. This is really wild. This is really wild. And it goes to the Cancer Sun. And without that Saturn there, she'd probably be in a lot of trouble. She would just be too wild for her own good. With that Saturn there, it's saying be careful, take care of yourself, make sure your emotions are all right. So that's a good thing. You've got the Scorpio rising right in the middle. Some people say that the 15th degree of Scorpio is the strongest degree of the zodiac. I don't know, but some people say. You know how that some people say goes. The moon in Virgo, that's real good to holding you down. See, your moon is your second most important planet, and it's being in Virgo helps you be disciplined, hardworking, not going off the edge. So you have a real balance with the kind of wild, crazy energies. Matter of fact, everybody tonight has wild, crazy energies and then suppressive energies, controlling energies. So that must be in tonight's chart. The Mars is in the 6th house, Jupiter, Uranus. The moon is in Virgo. Pluto is opposite Eris. Okay, so let's go to the 12th harmonic. There she is. All right. What do we see? Pluto and Gemini opposite Saturn. Along the angle, that's kind of far, it's 11 degrees, but this is along the angle, that's 4 degrees. Pluto, Saturn, that is somebody who is carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders philosophically. Carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders philosophically. That's exactly what that means. Does that ring a bell to you? This is past life.
Somewhat, yeah.
Somewhat, yeah. Okay. It's a good answer. It's an honest answer. All right. Now, with the Mars Neptune in the 10th house opposite the moon, now we got somebody being very careful. Be very careful, because I don't want you doing anything for yourself. Do it for everybody else. Not for yourself. Do it for them. Not for me. Do it for them. The moon says, yeah, be real careful. Take care of everybody. Jupiter's down there. Be careful. Saturn's got his arms around the base of the, what is it called? The plinth. You ever hear that? The plinth is the base of a statue. The plinth of the statue. So you got Saturn with his arms wrapped around the plinth. Jupiter's there. The moon is there. Mars and Neptune are back, careful. So here we go. Every single one of you tonight is about the same thing. You're all wanting to go, but you're all wanting to hang on. I wanted to get, I had an office once in Pittsburgh, and I'm semi-retired now, but I wanted to get an artist in there to draw a mural of somebody holding on to the pier, a pier that goes out in the ocean. And one guy's hanging there holding on to the pier, and everybody else is out in the water splashing around and running all these speed ray things and all this. And the topic of the what he's saying is, how come I can't go out? Caption, how come I can't go out and have fun like they are? And he's in there holding on the pole. That's been with every one of you. And the rest, and all of you have all these speed boats and motor boats, and you got skis, you got ski jumps, you got all these abilities, but you're not leaving home. Everyone tonight, 4 or 5. So the question is, true or false?
True.
Tell me how common is this theme how common has this theme been in your life?
Yeah, the last couple of years though, definitely coming out more and changing. But yeah, I always put everybody before me. Finally putting myself first. Probably the last 2 years.
Putting everybody else before you is a different story. Okay, that's a different story. What sign's your mom?
Virgo. She was a Virgo.
Ooh, that could be tough. Is she?
Both parents.
Huh?
Both parents, Virgo.
Okay. Is either one of them like a drill sergeant?
More mom than dad for sure.
Okay. They take care of you and they love you. Food's on the table, but they're not real good at TLC. True or false?
No, false. We talked about this in my reading. My mom was total TLC for a Virgo woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
excellent.
And I'm
Very
having a
cool.
lot of success with Virgos now. Almost all my work is with Virgo women. Almost all of it just happens that way.
Yeah, she
Well,
was.
Let's go to your past life. In the past life, we see, I'll do it again. In the past life, we see this is you are out in the world, and when you're out in the world, this is how you will behave. Do you understand me? That's what this is, that you've been living with a long time, that you think are the rules. You've been very obedient, but you made the rules up thinking they're someone else's. But can you see that?
Mhm.
It doesn't sound real convincing.
Yes, yeah, I do.
Okay, all right. And what is going on with this chart now? 20, Pluto's just passed over here. Pluto's just passed over this axis. And Uranus I'm concerned about. Uranus has been here. So as you say, the planets the last 2-3 years have been loosening this chart up. It's starting to show. So again, we're seeing this theme in your chart and everybody else's. Your chart's starting to loosen up, and you're finding out that the person that you're letting loose upon the streets is going to be fine.
Yep.
It's not dangerous. It's not going to get in trouble. We all find that we put ourselves through so many ridiculous stories that we have done to ourselves.
Right.
Not much to say about it, except let's just stop doing it. What questions do you have?
I don't know. I mean, the past life, in my reading, you said I was pretty out of control and wild.
Yeah, you're both. But as I look at it now, you're kind of out of control and wild, and also super controlled. Again,
Right.
you got both themes. Well, the way you resolve such a thing is you do not rip off one or the other. You let them both speak. You let them both go on a stage at the same time, and you teach them to harmonize together.
Yes.
But you're not going to get one to sit down while the other one's on the stage.
Right.
Ain't gonna happen. But I can see with all of you, and I think the whole audience can see this, that the people we've talked to tonight, the inner selves of all the people we've talked to, are ready to go. Make sense to you?
Yeah.
Eris
last
is,
couple-
Eris is raising hell now, planet wide. Everybody's picking up this new energy in their psyche. She is a wild thing. She doesn't care what she's got to do. She's got a very negative side, which is destructive, which I'm going to get what I want now, however I want to get it, which is not good. And we got to battle against that. She's got a wonderful side, which is let loose. Let yourself be free. You're just like everybody else. You're to be counted just like everybody else. Does that make sense? So
Mhm.
we're all picking up on this since 2006. It's been happening. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All
Makes sense.
Very good. Thank you. And I have on my list Marge. Marge, you're here. Margaret, can we do you, honey? Do you want me to look at yours?
Yeah,
Okay, hold on, please. That'll be the last. Margaret's chart looks like this. A Virgo, 3 planets in Leo, very powerful. Pluto sitting between the two really charismatic Venus and Mars and Virgo, Venus and Mars and Leo. This is a powerhouse. This changes the Virgo so much. This is very colorful and ebullient. The moon is in Scorpio, even at the last degree of Scorpio. Very intense emotions. So she's very dramatic and very emotional expressive. I can't tell because you're in the background, it's so dark. I can't tell what your face is really like, but your Eris is very strong sitting over here. This is kind of a fighter for women's rights too. Is that true?
yeah, a lot of what I've accomplished was not common for women.
What do you do for a living?
I am retired, but I'm a physician.
Okay, what type of physician?
Radiology.
Okay. Okay, Miss Radiology X-rays. We got perfect with all the Virgo energy here. Okay, now, what happened in the past life? Let's go take a look. It's got to be the same thing because we've had it all night. So, there's the past life. The moon and Mars at the top opposite Chiron. Very, very skilled medically, skilled with a scalpel. Eris is rising. Your chart is a wild chart. Your chart is intense. You do not want people telling you that you can't do the XYZ. You just don't do well. People telling you not to do it. It's probably why you like this show. And the Eris is across from Neptune. So you're very, very idealistic with people. I would say an excellent doctor, excellent bedside manner with people. The Neptune here brings about a little bit of, I would say the difficulty in the past life chart is there's a little bit of fanaticism in terms of being a martyr.
Mhm. Okay.
You got to be a martyr. You got to save the world. You have to fix everything. That's what Virgos do. They fix everything. So you come into does that make sense?
Yeah, you want to make everything go right.
No, you
Or
want
be
to
right.
you want to make everything go right.
Yeah.
Well, you want everything, you want to fix everything that's broken.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go back to the basic chart, the natal chart. Okay, so you get this fixer in you that's very, very strong. You really don't have that much Virgo in you. You've got these two lovely planets in the first house. This is a chart that has a high degree of harmony. High degree of harmony. What happens to you when you show off? What happens to you when you show off your particular talent that is really colorful and it's out there and people go, wow, that was really good? Does that make you kind of shy?
I was brought up with sort of Norwegian, you're nothing special and don't stand out. You have
Okay,
nothing.
what I'm talking about ain't got nothing to do with
No.
Norway. Okay, it's got to do with 3 Leo planets and then a couple Virgo planets. Your chart needs to start accepting applause.
Mhm.
You're not doing anything wrong. Accepting applause means, hey, you're pretty cool.
Mhm.
Because, and I'm sure this has happened, people will stop giving it to you.
Mhm.
When you stop allowing yourself to accept it, they'll stop giving it to you. That's a real strong Virgo trend. But your
Mhm.
Leo needs it. Your Leo needs it. Have you ever had any trouble with confidence?
Oh, sure.
Okay, I don't think you would have any problem with confidence if you start allowing some of that applause to come in.
Mhm.
It's just letting it in. You're not going to become an idiot on the corner showing off. You're not going to become a crazy one. Okay. That's
Mhm.
what your chart's all about. Your chart's all about the contrast between Leo and Virgo. And did you read our book?
Yeah, I've got it. It's been a while.
The Zodiac. I would recommend that you go back and reread the Leo Virgo chapters
Okay.
because they don't like being on the stage at the same time. The Leo can't stand the Virgo being so humble. The Virgo can't stand the Leo with a lampshade on its head. And they really need to learn to get on the same stage. They're singing the same song and be happy that way. So really every reading tonight was the same, but your chart is in really good shape. There's really not a lot happening to it. It's in good shape, but that's definitely one of the needs for it, is to start allowing the applause to be heard.
Mhm.
That surprise you?
No, not really. It's something to learn. And now that I'm retired, there's no professional standard to have to live up to and things like that.
Let me take one more look at one thing in your chart. In your birth chart, I thought so. Neptune is sitting right here. Okay, you have one of the most major changes in your life coming. Right at 27 degrees is your Mercury in Virgo. That is your mind. That's your real strong analytical mind. Black or white, real analytical, real correct, strong. But Neptune right now is at 24 right now. Neptune is approaching. It's right opposite that Mercury, and it's already hit your sun. And as it starts to approach this line here, you're probably thinking that this relaxation coming to you is because you have retired. It's not it. It's because Neptune's there. Okay, Virgos are real big mentally, being aware of relax about retirement, etc. As Neptune gets stronger in your next couple of years, you're going to start getting support from inside to go relax, to go take it easy, to not be so judgmental, to not be so harsh on yourself. And your Leo planets are really strong. So it'll be a really great time for you to take up art, drawing, dance. Okay.
Okay.
Really, really good for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I did a lot of dancing in earlier years, but I've had knee replacements, so I'm kind of limited in what I can do now, but love dancing.
Any difficulties in the lower, like lower stomach?
I just had surgery on my abdomen in August, and I'm still having problems because what was thought to be wrong didn't turn out to be. So I'm still in the midst of trying to get worked up, which is hard these days because it takes months to get in to see people.
Yes, it does. And I want to mention something to you. The most common problem with Virgos, the most common illness in the whole zodiac is lower intestinal problems with Virgos. Number one. And the antidote of it is letting go, letting things go. Don't see things. That's broken. Stop it. Let me fix it. Broken. Stop it. Fix it. Stop the conveyor belts. Fix it. Stop it. Fix it. When the mind is giving herky-jerky commands to the body doesn't know what to do with it. And the results end up in the lower bowels, etc., and lower stomach with disharmony. So that's what I found. If you can start to operate that conveyor belt more smoothly, don't herky-jerky stop it, it will get better. Okay, everybody, I'm kind of worn out. I hope you enjoyed tonight. We'll see what we see for next week. I just don't know. I hope that you gained from it. It's intriguing. And yes,
Thank you, Rick.
Susan, we'll
Thank
look
you,
at
everybody
fifth
who shared
harmonic
their
later.
charts.
What'd you
Thank you,
say,
everyone.
Erica?
Thanks to everybody who shared their charts
Oh,
too.
yeah. Thanks
And
to
to you,
everybody.
Rick.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
What
Everybody,
did you say, Rick?
what?
What did you say before that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I said we're going to try to do some more harmonics later on.
Good,
Okay?
good.
I don't know when. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.